Hey, babe. Ready to join the revolution?
Welcome to Boss Less, Babe More, a woman-first business movement where soulful strategy means brand clarity.
I'm Grace, alignment coach and Akashic record reader.
And I'm Reka, designer and brand strategist.
Together, we build businesses that are aligned, supported, and actually sustainable.
Fuck the rules. Let's change the world for every woman who comes after you.
Hey babes, we're back. It has been a solid month since you have heard from us, and we hope that you haven't been too lonely without getting your every Friday episode drop from the Bossless Babe More ladies, but we are back officially for the foreseeable future. So if you didn't listen to the last episode, it was the great experiment. And it was really to give us the space and the freedom to determine what are we doing, where is our energy going to be most potent and palpable, and how can we do business in a way that actually is congruent to us, even if that means reevaluating and trimming the fat. So we're here to tell you about how our great experiment went.
Yes. So trimming the fat, when you said that, I thought it's really, really important to immediately preface that you have to do that. You don't have to have a business that's 20 years old to notice that some things are not working or some things could be shifted.
Yeah.
And I think for that reason, I'm really proud of us for taking the month off and doing this experiment, because you're a very new company and a very new brand and a very new idea. And I think at first I had these thoughts of, oh my gosh, like, are we failing? Or is this a bad sign that certain things are hard or more complicated than we want them to be? And I think this month showed perfectly that it was exactly what we needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you are still allowed to come back from all that and say, yes, we'll continue, or no, this wasn't the thing. Like, this could have been just the episode where we said, you know what, we evaluated everything, we're not going to do it. We've evaluated everything, and this is the thing that we want to continue doing. So don't be afraid saying it collectively, globally. Don't be afraid to very frequently revisit your contributions to your work, or the feedback, or how you feel in general, because it is always continuously feedback. It's easier to course correct now than down the rabbit hole and building up resentment, or building up, I don't even know, just a company that you hate running, like a business that you hate doing, or a job that is just like, okay, it puts food on the table. Well, what if you're not in your brilliance and doing the thing that would light you up to put food on the table? Doing it out of obligation. That's a word you've been using a lot today. So how did it go for you?
So if you listen to the last episode, then you'll know that we talked about frequency. And if you've ever done work with me, Akashically, or just in coaching, you know that the foundation of my work is really frequency based. My frequency that I'm leaning into is the frequency of fun. The frequency that you're leaning into is the frequency of freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of want to rewind to right before we decided to do the experiment, because I just had this moment of like, oh no, I don't think that this is right. And then I remember talking to you in the kitchen. I was like, hey, what if we did this experiment, and what are the absolute facts if we take a month and we don't interact with BLBM at all? Tell me that it won't create more freedom for you. And will it create more fun for me? And I think that, one, it was kind of scary saying that out loud, but also I knew it needed to be said. And two, I think the facts are that it did create more freedom and fun for both of us. And just knowing that, okay, the more that I walk my talk, the better everything always turns out. Like, even if it means having a challenging conversation or like, hey, can we look at this together? I think it's a little bit scarier whenever it's like, oh, we're both in this boat. It's not me who's running the whole show. It's not you that's running the whole show. We're doing this in a very balanced kind of way. And like both of us need to be satisfied and feel like it's working and all the things. So, one, I just want to say that I appreciate you so much for like getting on board with my crazy ideas sometimes. But yeah, I think evidentially, if you choose to reevaluate in your business, it doesn't mean that it's a failure if you have to cut things out or if you decide to close your business or whatever. And we've definitely made a lot of shifts. We've basically gone through everything and reevaluated what we actually truly and most selfishly desire from doing this podcast, having this business together. And we realized that we would rather it just be a podcast. It doesn't need to be this whole business. And like the philosophy of Boss Less, Babe More, which we have, if you've listened to at least 5 episodes, we have drilled this into you at this point of like bossing less and babing more. And it's a balance, right? But to know when you're overbossing, and we came to the realization that it was just a rabbit hole of work. It was never-ending work. It was, oh, this idea, and let's run with this, and oh, this new idea, and let's run with this, and then, oh, let's go back and tweak. And there were just so many things that we did and then had to dismantle or redo or whatever. And I think that our separate businesses were in some ways collateral damage for all of our energetic resources going to Boss Less Babe More and trying to build that as a company that is evergreen. And it's like, well, why can't we do that with what we just separately and uniquely have, and then use the podcast as a way to support women and support ourselves in our businesses? Like, it doesn't need to be more complicated than that.
Yeah. And if you ever want to work with us together, you can.
Yeah.
Like, you can.
Absolutely.
It doesn't, but your work would happen. I don't have to sit there while you're doing an Akashic record reading, and you don't have to sit there. We discuss ideal clients. And let me also rewind. I am continuously blown away how often and how much and how deeply you show up for yourself and you show up for your relationships and things around you to have the hard conversations. It's very impressive, especially that you're so much younger than me. If I was half the woman you are when I was 30, I would have a very different life right now. Not that I don't love my life, but you're an incredible human, and I'm very thankful to be doing this with you. I also agree that our businesses separately that we already do will exist no matter what. And the resources we have allocated to this podcast or to this work will not change in the way that we will continuously advocate for all of our clients to be doing this boss less, babe more mentality, because I want people to brand with me who want to do branding once and for all and get off the hamster wheel. You want to do Akashic records with people who are ready to live aligned lives. Like, in and of itself, our principles of what we do with Boss Less Babe More already exist in our work, and we continually try to integrate that more and more into how we talk to our clients and work with our clients. And yes, and on top of that, if you ever feel like you're in the starting a business or you need some business help, we are here for you. But for us, I think it makes sense to say this is the philosophy in our lives separately, what we try to abide by, how we try to run our business, how we try to coach and work with our clients. And this is a really fun way to check in of what we're doing, where we're headed, what we see in the world, what we see in entrepreneurship, what we see is happening to women. And that's that. Like it's not, I feel like everything is changing and nothing changing all at once. Like it just feels more simplified and integrated. And I think it's really fun to do the podcast and chit chat.
Yeah. We love a good gab sesh.
Yeah. And I think I would have really missed that. You have to have your products and your funnels and whatever. That can be true, but that's already true for our businesses. We're already doing that for our businesses. So it felt like we were duplicating things in a way that, not that it didn't make sense, because it makes sense for our businesses, but it was extra work because I think that's supposed to be the entrepreneurship journey versus why don't you just listen to two ladies talk about cyclical living, their businesses, what they're doing, what they see in the world, support, hear their ups and downs of how life is going for them or work is going for them, and be partners with them in that. And that's enough. That's plenty. And I think it goes back to, like, one of the big ones is that both you and I will still create courses and we're going to still talk about the same exact things. It just won't be under this umbrella. So it's like all the things where I'm like, oh, we're cutting this out. We're actually not cutting it out. We're just housing it under the businesses that we're already doing. We're just not duplicating the work to duplicate the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that feels really good.
It feels so much more easeful. So I guess let's talk about in what capacity people can work with us if they decide to. One, we'll still have a link, which we'll post in the bottom of the description for this episode of if you want to reach out to us and have a consult with us. We are happy to create a custom experience for you within branding and business alignment. But also, we're going to include links too if you just want to reach out to either of us separately. Everything is percolating and in the works at the moment for each of us to be creating courses and really beautiful offerings that will absolutely help you to move the needle forward in your business and or in your own personal life. And we want you to know that even though the format of it is changing, it will only make the result of the creation even better because it's being done from a place of full sovereignty and autonomy and real alignment. So honestly, I think that our offerings are going to be even better.
Yeah.
Than if we were trying to smush it all together and have it under the umbrella of Boss Less Babe More. So yeah, I'm very excited. These past 4 weeks have been so nice. So we always have met on Mondays to do our podcast. This past month, we've still been meeting on Mondays, but we've been focusing all of our energy and time during that time that we would typically be pouring all of our energy and resources into Boss Less Babe More into our own separate businesses while simultaneously supporting each other in what we're creating. And it's been so nice.
Sexy little co-working sessions.
It is. I mean, sometimes we're digging holes outside and sometimes we're working on brand stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that really hit me this last month is we were actually in the yard working, and we were listening to somebody say that, the frequency that you work with is something that you have to observe and manifest and work with in all aspects of your life. And I understood that when you explained to me that my frequency is freedom, but it really hit me that I cannot get more freedom by working harder and having less freedom. Like, it's literally impossible for me to call in more freedom if all I'm doing is hustling more. And not even separate from the BLBM philosophy of bossing less and babing more. It is so fucking obvious. It's so simple. And I exactly know the corner of the house I was in, just like, oh fuck. Like, this is what's happening. That I'm doing more. And there's the designer and Dieter Rams, the guy that designed the brown radio that the Apple iPod was modeled after, and he's Swiss. I believe he's a Swiss designer, Swiss or German. really cool guy. I watched this documentary of his years and years ago. I'm not even sure if he's still alive or not, but basically a minimalist designer. And one of his things was less but better. And designers have made posters and all sorts of stuff with this. And I so distinctly remember, he's like, I'm making this radio, and the design of it and the function of it, like, it just has to be the things that make sense. And of course, I'm divine wisdom, so everything has to be concise and simple, but it makes so much sense. Like, put in the thing and make it better. Like, why is more more? More is not more, right? It's just more clutter. And I think about that with like spring cleaning, or even working on the yard. We got 5 trees dug up from the backyard, and it kind of looks sparse. It doesn't have all the vegetation in it yet, and it's going to get a lot more work done on it, but it looks so much more calm and relaxing. Like, it's not just these random fucking things everywhere that's kind of growing funky because of the fence and crooked in one way or another, or broken pavers or whatever. It's like, what if you just have the right amount of ingredients and you just continue doing that? Like, the amount of access we have in the world, the amount of extra we do, the amount of apps you have on your phone. I try to do this like every couple of weeks, delete extra photos, because I take a photo of this one thing, like, I gotta remember this for later. You know what I don't do? Remember it for later. Like, just more data, more content, more consumption. So I'm really happy to say that neither of us are interested in that. We're interested in doing brilliant work with brilliant women, and to do that well, it's going to take the price tag of being extremely intentional with our time and energy. And so this will remain a podcast. We are not going to do video, because I don't want to fucking put on makeup every time. And if I wear the same pants 2 Mondays in a row, I don't want to feel weird about it. I have a minimalist closet. I have like 5 pants, I just don't want to do something out of obligation, like, oh yeah, because YouTube will be the thing. Or it's like, no, it feels really good to chat with you about these things. And that's how it got started. Like, we just really enjoyed each other's company and felt like our businesses and what we do and how we handle clients was really aligned. And, a friendship formed from that. And you're like, what if, let's start a podcast. It was so exciting for everything else to happen. But I think I definitely was blinded by the idea of all of these potentials, because I like being an entrepreneur. I like doing my own shit. I like coming up with stuff that, if you work for a company, sometimes you could have those big dreams and ideas and crazy things you can never pitch to your boss, because it would not fit into this one tiny box. And maybe you work at a wonderful place where you have the creativity and freedom, but I love that portion of entrepreneurship. And so I'm not ashamed of, or regretful, or full of guilt or resentment or anything for the path that we've taken, because it is just now teaching me to be more and more continuously and constantly evaluating what is working and not working. So I feel like we chopped a lot of fat, but this feels good. We'll be in audio format. We'll be here weekly until we maybe one day won't, until it's not freedom and not fun. And it feels good.
It feels
really
so good. Also, just this past month, I feel like I've kind of had this reevaluation. I feel like I do this kind of reevaluation at the end of the year, but I feel like this past month of being off kind of helped me have some separation to reevaluate what basically the past year of doing Boss Less Babe More was like. And we have talked about this as well before, but I think that because we've gone through, like, oh my gosh, we've been using different software and platforms and technology and doing things that I would have never known how to do beforehand. Like, this year has been one of the best training grounds to make me a better entrepreneur, to be able to make me a better service provider for my clients. And I mean, it's it's just been such an amazing learning experience.
Absolutely.
So just like you were saying, it doesn't feel like there's anything that's been lost. honestly, it just feels like there's been a lot gained, including friendship,
Yes.
the power of friendship.
I completely agree. Even if I just think from the perspective of, let's say you're reading for a business and you're like, all right, what are your POSs? It's like you probably can suggest 4 different newsletter hosts and website hosting companies and domain name registration things. Like you just have this basic business knowledge now that it's like because we had to fucking Google everything and look up everything and actually change some of our own shit, personally.
Yeah.
If you think about podcasting and microphones and lights and soundproofing, there's just so much. Like, what is it worth to pay a subscription for or not pay? How many things can you get away with? When is it worth something as a free service versus bundling it with something else? Like, just general business skills that if you're getting your client through the same process and don't think, oh, yeah, there's a better way to guide them through this funnel or through this process or payment processors, or if it's working, you don't necessarily think like, oh, I got to evaluate, is there a cheaper or better option? Because this is working, who cares? But when you're trying to start a business from scratch and you're not throwing $100,000 at it or other people are doing it, you're doing the research, you realize, oh, this system is better. This is kind of cooler. We found course platforms that we wouldn't have found otherwise. I'm not saying all of our clients will be building courses, but the audio stuff or the editing stuff or putting the podcasts out, I think if anything, we are an example of it is all super possible, even if you have very limited resources or time, because we did not come into this with a giant pile of cash and savings. And we did not come in with a lot of time because we had our separate businesses to run. So if we got this far in a year's time, I mean, you got to have your wits about you. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but it is very possible. Now, do you have to? Does it make sense? Is it aligned? And if you don't know, go to Grace. She'll tell you and check you if it's in alignment. And, she may break your heart like she broke mine today about something, but it's necessary because there's no other way. Like our time is so limited on earth. Like what the fuck are we doing? So like use your resources and time and energy appropriately. I think about this. I want to travel so much more and talk about freedom. Like finally went on a trip last week and it was so fun to see. Like you could tell who were the vacationers. You could tell like all these people with these campers and thing. Like I could just see this potential of like anything is possible. You just got to figure out what are your core values or what is the thing that's most important. And entrepreneurship allows for that. Like if you have a really nasty 9 to 5 and you hate it, what are you doing? I'm not saying everybody has to buy a camper and go explore, but don't waste it, guys. Don't waste it, guys. Life is so freaking short. So I'm very thankful for the month off. I'm very thankful for knowing to lean into freedom as much as possible. And I'm really excited about the episodes coming up.
Like, life is short. Fucking do
Life
your
is short.
shit.
Yeah. So life is short. Do your thing. Do you have anything else to add?
Honestly, amazing. Don't forget to boss less, babe more, okay? Like,
Yeah, our sign off will not change.
yeah. So, I mean, until next week,
Don't forget
to boss less, babe more.